My name is Laura Rackley, and this is my persuasive speech on student loans. I want you all to picture yourself in 10 years. What is your life going to look like? Does it look like you living in a downtown area in a nice loft with a nice car and a great paying job? Do you see yourself in a big house with lots of kids and a smoking spouse? Or do you see yourself paying back student loans? I bet probably you guys didn't really think of that when I asked that question, because that's not what college looks like right now to you. You're probably being told you can do anything you want. You can go to school for anything. But people probably aren't telling you, well, it takes money to do that. So what I want to talk about today is, as a student myself and someone who strives to live debt-free, I want to present information on how you can avoid student loans, because they actually really negatively impact some people's lives. Student loans, although they seem to benefit, they actually bring a lot of disadvantages, but there are ways to avoid them. In this workshop, I want to explain to you the adverse outcomes that student loans bring about. We'll be discussing loans available to students, defaulting on a student loan, and how you can avoid loans altogether. Student loans can actually build to staggering amounts and almost be impossible to pay back. The government actually offers students $57,500 for undergraduate students, $138,500 in the Stafford loans for graduate students. Now, if you think about those amounts, they might not seem that big, but we're actually going to get into some more information about how they actually grow over time. The different loans that the government offers are actually subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. Subsidized loans is where the government pays the interest while you're in school, which is great, but think about all that time afterwards that they're not going to be paying that interest on your loans. That's something that you're going to be paying back. Unsubsidized loan is where they don't pay the interest at all. That's actually all up to you. Now, going over the interest rates, the subsidized loan per the Department of Education is actually 3.4%. That's not that bad, but looking at the unsubsidized loan, it is 6.8%, which actually is a lot worse than the 3.4, obviously. And just to kind of give you an idea of what that could do, if you take out the maximum amount of loans as an undergraduate student at $57,500, with a 6.8 interest rate, that's going to bring you up in 10 years to $129,685 just in that student loan for whatever your undergraduate degree might be. So you're looking at more than doubling that initial loan that you took out with just the interest rate. That's actually all going to the government. Now, another thing that's really bad about student loans, and a lot of people get into, is defaulting on a student loan. Defaulting is when you actually don't pay for 300 days or more, and that's when they don't receive any kind of payment from you for your student loan. Once that happens, you're no longer to receive any kind of financial aid, and actually the government can garnish your paychecks and take that money back. So that's something that you obviously don't want to get into, and that's why I suggest just not doing student loans at all. Now, some of the ways that you can do that are actually really easy. First of all, look for an affordable school. Look for somewhere that you can go that's in your price range, somewhere that is maybe in-state for you, because in-state tuition is a lot cheaper. Also, you can live off campus rather than living on campus. When you're living on campus, obviously it's going to be a lot more expensive than when you can frugally do it on your own. Some other things that I would suggest is scholarship searching. That's going to be your best bet. You can look at all the scholarships online, and that's just going to decrease your need for student loans. One last thing that isn't always common, but you can actually find jobs on campus that might pay for your education. Personally, I work at a university, and so I actually get school for free. So I haven't had to take out any student loans because I got a scholarship, and now I work at a university, and I will graduate with no student loans. And that's something I'm really proud of. I understand that everyone can do that. But if you do need to use a student loan, I would suggest using the smallest amount possible, if that. So today we've learned how much you're able to get in debt and how not paying a student loan can really affect you in the future, as well as how to just avoid them altogether. So as future scholars, I trust that you'll become educated and actually better plan for your future by avoiding piling up student loans for yourselves. So let your degree take you places and not your debt.